everyone, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. So it is actually Sunday morning. That is Gilmore Girls. Clay's playing Call of Duty. And I am starting a new reading vlog today and then kind of going through the work week. It's going to be 3 days, like a normal length. But this is a special, exciting reading vlog because I'm basically going to be reading one book from start to finish that, one, I'm really pumped to read, but two, I know a lot of you guys were excited to see me read it too, either because you are a big fan or you wanted to just kind of know thoughts before deciding to pick it up yourself. And that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a steamy, romance-centered fantasy story, but definitely has like fantasy plot and tropes. I'm just expecting this to be a lot of fun, a absolute page turner, and just something that will keep me super entertained, having like an angsty romance at its center, but also having like a dramatic fantasy plot kind of pushing the story forward as well. I'm hoping to just honestly read this entire thing over the next 3 days. I will say I did start it late last night and I read 90 pages super quickly, so I already know this is a book I'm going to fly through. In terms of plot, this basically follows our main character Poppy, who the workings of the world are still a bit of a mystery, but she is essentially a maiden who is like on track to be ascended to some sort of godhood. Because of this, she's kind of kept in isolation. She can't show her face, she can't really make connections or make friends, and she has to stay pure for her ascendance to godhood. And then we also follow a guard who I'm pretty sure has a like hidden past, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have this very intense romance. On top of all of that, and what is kind of like the primary driver why I picked this book up was the romance, the fantasy plot so far is definitely really intriguing. It basically follows a kingdom that is sort of surrounded by this blood forest, and there are like cursed creatures in the blood forest that kill everyone who like tries to venture there, but they're also trying to invade. The curse kind of feels like werewolf stuff, but like less Twilight and more like you're cursed and you turn into this creature and you kill everyone around you. But TBD on that. But what I will say, it definitely has like solid, fun fantasy plot at its core. Like this definitely is like best of both worlds. In the way that I mean like how Sarah J Maas has really romance forward stories but still a really fun and intense fantasy plot. I feel like this is delivering that, which is why I'm so excited to pick it up, because I just feel like I'm gonna fly through it. I've had a hard time recently, like I feel like my attention span has been so little. Like every time I've been picking up a book recently, like I feel like I have such a hard time concentrating while I'm reading. So I've been really craving a book that hopefully will just have me flying through the pages, won't be able to put it down, and like something that I just want to stay up till 5 a.m. to finish. So that's really what I'm hoping that this will provide. I'm really excited to read it and keep you guys posted as I go through it. I feel like it's going to be dramatic and angsty and full of all of the ridiculous romance tropes, but that is exactly what I'm looking for. But yes, welcome to the start of the vlog. It's Sunday morning. Let's do this thing. Before I sit down and do any more reading, I'm actually going to film 2 videos this morning. I also need to edit and upload one of those videos. And also I need to clean my apartment. But that is a discussion for another day. But I wanted to first start this vlog, but I am gonna quickly film and edit, and then I will get to reading and hopefully eating like bagels and drinking coffee and all of that shenanigans. The aftermath of filming, now I need to import the footage and start editing, and then honestly, I'm gonna clean my apartment because I am overwhelmed by this mess, not gonna lie. Clay picked up the goods, and I also finished editing, and then I'm going to get to reading. I'll give you guys an update in a bit, but I gotta eat this bagel first. Video is uploading. The Bears game is about to start. It's me. That's my bagel trash. But I'm now going to get a fresh cup of coffee and sit on the couch and watch football. The Bears game, as I just literally said, is about to start. But I'm going to sneak some reading in during commercial breaks and things, and then the rest of my day, now that I have shot and edited, it's going to be dedicated to reading, which I'm excited for. I also feel like I can actually fit in at least 50 or 60 pages while football's on. Given the pace and just the writing style of this book is just so digestible. My brain, finally, I feel like I can focus. So it's gonna be great, but just wanted to give you guys an update. My video uploading. Woo! Oh, yes. The Bears facing chronic disappointment, but I have read 20 pages from Blood and Ash, so that's great. So the Bears won, which is honestly kind of shocking we're 5-1, which I'm definitely gonna take and embrace because it's exciting. I just would have never expected it. So I'm going to celebrate and continue my reading by heating up a cookie from Levain, which is my favorite cookie place in New York City. If you're ever here, you should definitely go there. They're totally worth it. They've opened up more locations now, so you can get them delivery. And I have some leftovers, so I'm just gonna pop it in the oven, heat it up, and enjoy an afternoon snack. I'm definitely making pasta for dinner tonight, but I feel like pre-gaming dinner at like 4:30 with a cookie only makes logical sense, so here we are. So a quick Matilda poll, similar to the dog toy one, but this one is more to do with Matilda. So we give Millie these little dental chews, and she gets so stressed. Like, she loves them because they're a treat. Where'd she go? She loves them because they're a treat, but she takes like 30 minutes to actually start chewing on it because she gets really stressed that we're gonna like steal it from her. We have to close like her kennel and any other doors because she tries to hide, and she'll just pace around whining for a while until she starts eating them. We're trying to give her something, one, that's good for her health and that she enjoys, but it just brings her so much stress. Cookie is heated up. Clay picked us up some seasonal lattes. It's been a minute since I've had a Starbucks latte, but I'm excited. I'm gonna consume this and then get back to my book, which I was reading up until now. I'm making pretty decent progress. I'll do a more comprehensive reading update in a minute. I just want to kind of get close to the 200 page mark before I do so. Hi everyone, I've come into the other room because I wanted to do my official first big update of From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've read 200 pages of this book and I'm definitely flying through the narrative. I do want to say, when I picked this book up, I kind of expected kind of a low stakes fantasy world, nothing too dark, nothing too urgent, and it being Matilda Watson. Primarily romance focused. But what I will say, I'm wrong. In part, because it's definitely still going to be heavily romance focused. You can tell, like, there's going to be this dramatic, angsty romance at its center, but that doesn't mean Jennifer L. Armentrout has skimped on the world, the intrigue, the darkness of the setting at all. In fact, I would say this book is a lot darker than I was anticipated going in, and I definitely actually want to flag that because there's aspects that haven't been fully revealed. Actually, there's a lot of things that haven't been fully revealed as it relates to the politics, the structure of the world. There's a lot of hints at the exposition, so I'll kind of go into that. But there's definitely been a lot of kind of like references and allusions to a dark, seedy underbelly of the ruling body, both in the Duke that our maiden has to deal with from a leadership perspective, but just overall structure of the world seems to be flawed. So this story follows our main character Poppy, who I've already referenced is a maiden, which I'm pretty much gathering is that she is this sort of political, religious figure who has been deemed to be like very blessed by the gods and who has to be like kept in captivity and pure and away from everyone leading up to her ascension. She's not the only one who can go through ascension, which is essentially this rite where you're put in front of the gods and they either deem you worthy and grant you immortality, or you get exiled and possibly are killed. But being a maiden, I think she's kind of like the shepherd for everyone who goes into ascension, which is why she's like kept separate from everyone else. In this world, there appears to be a political structure that's very much organized by the gods, and I'm pretty sure the true ruling class are people who have ascended. When you're ascended, again, you're immortal, and I think you can only kind of roam around at nighttime. It kind of has like vampire vibes, if I'm being honest. I don't know if they are vampires, but this whole like only going out at night, having a cold demeanor, and being changed and immortal after some sort of ceremony kind of gives me vampire vibes. Unconfirmed though. They're kind of ruling, and people within this kingdom, essentially what happens is if you have children, your firstborn can stay at home, your secondborn goes to the court of the ascended individuals, and I think possibly goes through the rite process as well, and then their thirdborn goes to the temple to be raised by priests. So it's very structured and very organized in this way. Obvious reasons, there is unrest, and there's this like rebel group that I think are like trying to rise from the ashes to overthrow this political structure. Not a lot has been shared about them, but they're also kind of associated to these creatures that are kind of like werewolves. A classic vampire v werewolf situation. Again, I could be wrong. I could be inferring incorrectly. Then we also have our main character, Poppy, who lives within this kingdom in this world, and who is obviously very isolated from politics and society at large. That doesn't mean she's weak or uninterested. She definitely tries to do what she can to figure out everything around her. And I would say as a main character, I actually really enjoy reading from her perspective. She has a really strong point of view. She's always like fighting to feel like she is making decisions for herself, even though most of her reality is controlled by others. She really tries to take her own destiny in her life in her hands and like will fight for herself, which is something I really respect about her point of view. I will say, and something I definitely want to flag, is that there is definitely some sort of abusive relationship in terms of her treatment within the castle. There's a huge trigger warning for emotional and physical abuse. Our main character, Poppy, is subjected to extremely violent treatment from the ruling individual in the castle, the Duke. He's definitely the main villain as so far that I have encountered within this story. And there's also some pretty graphic scenes of that physical abuse. So I really wanted to be sure to call that out and be aware of that before deciding to pick up this book or before going into reading this. Where I'm at right now, the main love interest, or what I'm assuming is the main love interest, is now just being assigned as her guard. And things are also beginning to heat up as what appears to be rebels are starting to infiltrate the castle and like put her life in danger, and as well as other people living in the castle. So things are starting to get a little more dangerous, and things are also very complicated too, because our main character, in a desire to kind of gain freedom and her own choice of like what it means to be a maiden, she decides to leave the castle one night and kind of have a night of freedom. There she actually runs into our main love interest, Hawk, where they share a kiss. She never expected to see him again, but now he is assigned her guard. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Dark politics. There is already kind of an angsty, dramatic, romantic center, but there is also a strong heroine who I really enjoy reading from her perspective, and I'm excited to see how the story continues to grow and expand. I'm confused in a good way, especially as it relates to the politics, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world is going on, as there seems to be kind of a convoluted ruling structure. How Jennifer L. Armentrout is at least sharing the information, but it's kind of like in a good way, like I'm like digging to find out what's going on. Anyway, this clip is way too freaking long, but I'm gonna sit down and do more reading and I'll keep you guys posted. But so far I'm very entertained and I am flying through it. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts and just what this dang book is about 200 pages in, because there's kind of a lot going on. Watching the obvious show, I'm actually going to start dinner now. I'm making some like tortellini, should be delicious. I quickly read another 50 pages. This book is paced at a wild level, and again, just the action and the combat, I was not expecting it to be at the level it is. Our pure maiden character is heavily trained in combat and is a very capable person with both a sword, a dagger, and a bow and arrow, which I wasn't anticipating, but definitely adds some interesting elements. And there's literally monsters that come out of the mist and like attack towns. Like that's part of it too. Like there's all these bloodthirsty politics and weird creatures in town, but there's also a wall that surrounds it to protect everyone from this sort of blood forest where these like demented, cursed monsters live and attack the battlements, and they like come out of the mist. It's wild. But anyway, I'm past the 250 page mark. I'm flying through it. There's so much going on, I can't put it down. It is. I see why it has the hype it has. Let's just say that. But let's make some pasta. Making dinner, just some tortellini with the cream sauce with roasted, whoa, missed the oven door, bell peppers. Should be very tasty and very easy. In fact, so easy that I have like 15 minutes to kill, so I'm gonna go watch TV. Making the sauce, which is just some tomatoes and some sour cream cheese, butter, you know, all the good things to make a creamy pasta sauce. Then it's just a matter of combining it all and enjoying. I love tortellini. Just thought I would make that clear and known to the world. Big fan over here. We are officially on season 5. So we're almost past all the episodes I've seen. I've seen up through season 5, so season 6 will be new for both of us, but We have flown through this. What do you think about the show so far, Clay?
It's been great.
Who's your favorite character?
David.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like Alexis.
I like Alexis. I like all the characters.
And Moira.
I like Moira.
I like David too, though. He's impossible not to
I would take David,
like.
Alexis, Moira.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah. I mean, you love everyone. But anyway, let's start. All right, I am going to sneak in a bit more reading tonight before going to bed. I'm trying to read 50 more pages and pass the 300 page mark, which I don't think will be too hard, which will also mean I'll have read 200 pages today, which is definitely kicking off the reading sequence pretty strong. Overall, I would say this book is definitely hitting my expectations in that I wanted kind of an angsty, ridiculous romance. I mean, and it's definitely doing that so far. I mean, the main male protagonist's name is Hawk, but surprising me with a more richly composed fantasy plot that I honestly didn't really need going into this book. So definitely a positive bonus. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not like, you know, the greatest piece of literature I have ever consumed, but it is highly entertaining and hitting me with better character work and better like fantasy plot work than I was anticipating. And I'm flying through it and it feels great because I have felt, I think as I mentioned, kind of like a little lack of attention span recently. So this has been just a nice break, and it's like meeting and exceeding expectations so far. But all right, I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna keep reading. Good morning, everyone. I have my pumpkin goblet of coffee. I think I'm gonna challenge myself tomorrow to not wear leggings to work. I've worn leggings like every day for the past 2 weeks, I won't lie to you. But I actually got a new pair. These are from Girlfriend Collective. They've been hitting me with a lot of Instagram ads and they worked. And they're very soft. And they're made from 100% recycled bottles, which is pretty cool. But anyway, time to get to work. I did get to page 300 of my book yesterday, which is exciting. But I'm late for a meeting, so I gotta go. I'm constantly entertained by Matilda. I've shown you guys this probably no less than 100 times, and yet I look over and I have the same reaction every single day I see it. A pillow's been added. Also, don't you just love all the pug's face smear marks all over the window? She's just keeping the, you know, keeping watch. The night watch. Isn't that right, Matilda? She's like, leave me alone. Hi friends, checking in. I am officially wrapping up my workday, and Clay and I are gonna spend the evening, I think, watching some football. I'm definitely gonna be doing reading because I am on the 300 page mark of the book I started for this blog, and it is absolutely captivating my attention. And I also think we're gonna go on a pumpkin gourd adventure and find some pumpkins somewhere for our apartment. But before I do all of that, I'm actually sitting down and doing a Skillshare class. As you guys know, I have been a partner with Skillshare basically all year. I'm a big fan of their service, but if you're not familiar, Skillshare is an online learning platform. They have thousands upon thousands of classes that cover a multitude of different topics, ranging from things from programming, graphic design, and other professional skill sets to productivity. I personally have been watching a lot of cooking-based Skillshare classes because I really love to cook, and I just really like to hear experts give me tips and tricks on different things to do with cooking. Or I flip you around and show you some of my favorite recent classes in the class I'm actually about to start tonight. I did want to shout that I do of course have a special offer for you guys, which is the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare, and after that it's only about $10 per month. But let's chat about the classes I have been loving. So last time we chatted, I was about to start a cocktail-based class, which I really loved. I don't know, I'm trying to be a little more adventurous as it relates to cocktails, and this just gave me a lot of tips and tricks and ideas behind the scenes. And plus, I don't know, it's a really fascinating trade in general, like all the different mixing. It's kind of like baking, but for drinks, if that makes any type of sense. And then I also took a kind of butcher focused class for beef. But today I'm actually about to start, let me zoom in, a productivity masterclass. I don't know about you guys, but I have personally been having a hard time focusing, as I feel like I've mentioned a few times in this video. Just trying to get some tips about how I can kind of maybe plan my day out to be more efficient with my time, feel like I'm wasting time less, and just overall try to get my life together. I'm sure that is a relatable topic that a lot of you guys probably feel right now, but I'm just looking for some I don't know, a way to refresh and add some additional structure to my life, because I personally thrive on structure. So I'm gonna watch the first lesson of that tonight before Clay and I go on our walk, and I will definitely keep you guys updated with my thoughts and feelings about the class. Yeah, big shout out to Skillshare for partnering with me again for this video. I'm obviously a big fan of them. I will of course still have the link down in my description, but I'm gonna get started on this class and then I'm going to watch some football. Hanging out, watching football. Millie's over here. Clay's doing the laundry. I'm being useless, but you know, it's give and take. But I am gonna start reading in a little bit, but we're just enjoying some Monday early evening football. Having a little appetizer before dinner, as one does. It is time for me to make dinner. Some liquid gold. As you guys know, one of my favorite guilty pleasures is to make myself an entire box of mac and cheese for dinner. It's delicious. It makes me feel great. I don't know where I was going with that. Like my childhood? I don't know. I love Velveeta. It's a thing of beauty. And then obviously, same thing going on over here. Season 5. Hi friends. Can confirm I ate so much mac and cheese. I took a 30-minute nap after eating it. But now I'm ready to start reading for the evening. And yeah, I'm hoping to read like a good 100, 150, maybe even 200 pages tonight. This book reads really, really quickly. And I feel like I've been a little all over the place with my descriptions, but I kind of want to focus on the romance element, in that it's definitely ridiculous, which was what I wanted when I picked this book up. When I heard about this book and read about this book, I immediately knew I wanted to read it and pick it up because I wanted a ridiculous, angsty, super yearny, absurd, you know, like dialogue, ridiculous and steamy scenes romance. Like that was the selling point for me. I find those stories to be a lot of fun. I made that known on my channel. But I definitely feel like you have to know that going into this book, and I would say it's definitely better than I expected. The romance is incredibly ridiculous, and its approach is definitely everything I wanted it to be. Again, his name is Hawk. He's a guard and his name is Hawk, and they have like ridiculous conversations, and there's all of this intensity and mutual pining and like will they, won't they. It's great. I'll say there's definitely a lot more like plot, like fantasy plot, than I was actually expecting going into the story. It's by no means like the greatest fantasy novel I've read in my entire life, but it's definitely adding great ambiance and atmosphere, and again, pushing me through this book with great speed. It's really entertaining so far, and I also feel like Jennifer L. Armentrout is pacing out the romance really successfully. I mean, I'm 300 pages into this book and we're still very much at the beginning, and I'm sure there'll be like a love triangle probably introduced by the end of this book, which I'm kind of hoping for. Definitely rambling. I blame the mac and cheese. But it's all just to say, like, this book is achieving everything I wanted it to achieve, but I also feel like you need to go in with the right mindset if you pick this book up and like know what it's trying to deliver. And in my opinion, Jennifer L. Armentrout is delivering like what she set out to do. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm standing firm in my vampires, werewolves. Like, it's just a secret. It's just like a reformatted. Is this just a reformatted paranormal romance book? Maybe. Only one way to find out. It's me. I've passed, well, no, not passed. I'm just at the 400 page mark, which means I've read 400 pages in about a day and a half. Which is by far and away the most I've read of a book all month, well, in terms of this pace. This book is definitely heating up, and it's definitely having some cheesy moments, but both of those things I'm just eating up. I'm living for it. I have to say, I really enjoy the main character, Poppy. I like her perspective. I like her character. She's definitely like kind of a typical heroine in this kind of story, but I definitely really enjoy reading, you know, her story, and she's really easy to root for, so I really like her. Hawk, I like, and I like their banter and their like yearning for each other. I have a feeling like in my heart that I feel like I'm gonna be team the other guy in this love triangle. I haven't met this other guy, nor have I even encountered one. So this is really me purely speculating, but I've read enough of these books to encounter some tropes, if you know what I mean. I could be very wrong though, but I like Hawk. He's maybe a little too cliched if I'm like ranking him within stories, but definitely entertaining. Also, funny moment, our main character Poppy basically stumbled upon the equivalent of like 50 Shades of Grey, but like journal version from some, you know, Duchess from 300 years prior, which was so funny. Like such a good addition to the story. So funny. But yeah, I'm gonna actually keep reading. I'm just gonna see how far I can get. I'm gonna put my pajamas on. It's actually getting pretty late, but this book is over 600 pages and I am trying to finish it in 3 days, which would be wild. Definitely the most I will have read in a while. So I'm just gonna keep on trucking and just try to read as much as I can, but wanted to give you guys an update and some general thoughts, but you know. Good morning, everyone. I am in an actual dress today. I got dressed. I'm not just in pajamas, which I'm taking as a sign of progress for myself. I'm also dubbing this Tuesday a good day because I'm using my favorite mug. So cheers, everyone. I was able to read to page 430 last night. This book is definitely getting very dramatic. It's still very entertaining, but I feel like I need to just like shout out how dramatic it is. I still stand by the vampire element, but TBD though. Regardless though, I need to start my day. Just wanted to show you that I did in fact get dressed, which I'm proud about. And I will try to read a little bit at lunch today, but we will see. But I'm definitely in the home stretch of the book. 450 page read, and I have 1 day left. So let's get to page 600 and whatever it is and finish it. Hi everyone, I'm still technically at work. I have like an hour or so left of work, but I wanted to take a minute and pop in and just do like a quick little update from Blood and Ash. I've read to page 450, so I thought I would give some update. I definitely feel like the plot and the politics are all starting to heat up. Things are definitely happening. I still have a lot of questions, but we have left the castle though. We're starting to kind of see more of the world, which is interesting, kind of the more mysterious hinted at. So I feel like we're about to be told more of the stuff we've been kind of speculating, which I'm looking forward to in terms of like book 1 situation. I know there's already a sequel, so there's a lot of world to be discovered here. I also feel like we've possibly run into the second part of the love triangle. I'm not sure. This is pure speculation. I don't even know if there is a love triangle yet. Nothing has been hinted at. Like we're still in very much romance 1 for now, which I'm still very much entertained by. I'm not even yelling for a love triangle. I just always like to spot it. Like, can I spot it? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Other thing I wanted to mention, lots of decapitations. That might seem like a random thing to comment on, but I feel like this has an above average amount of decapitations, which I feel like I just need to shout out. And I also feel like they've been done in a way that's both gruesome and humorous. If you've read them, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so far, still all the same thoughts and feelings, highly entertained, flying through it. This book is getting a bit more dramatic, and the romance is still like kind of at a good simmering point, which is exciting. So I feel like we're not gonna get like fatigue, which I feel like is always important because I feel like this is gonna likely be a trilogy. But yeah, still stand by my vampire statement. Still don't know if that's true or not, but we shall see. I definitely would say like some of the plot devices are a little bit convenient, but I also, again, I'm not so bothered by that. But I just wanted to shout out, like, I'm very aware of the machinations of the story. Is not like mind-boggling, but I am thoroughly entertained. But anyway, I'm wrapping up work right now. I am going to try to finish this tonight. 150, 180 pages. I need to cook dinner. I think I'm gonna make some flautas and maybe watch the Great British Baking Show. You know, big plans this evening, big plans. Oh, and Clay and I are actually gonna go on our walk for pumpkins this evening. We're gonna make that happen. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. Same thoughts as before. I do want things to get a little bit steamier. I'll say that now. So we'll see if that happens. Right now we're still very much at like a good simmer, but like I'm waiting for a little bit of a boil. But anyway, bye. New York pumpkin patch. I think we should keep walking just to see. Ooh, festive. Back, we opted for a mum, which I thought would be nice, just on the counter. And then we got a lot of little baby pumpkins, which I'm gonna scatter around. We already had kind of a, we zoom in. We had like a mid-sized real pumpkin that I had over there, but I really like those mutant looking pumpkins, which I normally put down there, but oh well. we'll have these and they'll be very cute. You guys know what time it is. Time to go back to the tent. I like to be at least one episode behind, so I always have one like waiting for me to watch. Anyone else say with comfort shows? It's nice when I just like have it waiting for me when I feel like it's time to watch. Anyway, time to watch Chocolate Week. Exciting stuff. I am making a very easy, very quick dinner, which is literally gonna be refried beans, some sauteed onion, tomato, rolled up into a little flauta, pan fried, done. And then I'm going to maybe make some oven s'mores because Bake Off, you know, is inspiring me to do my own, you know, baked creation. I switched it to Buffy as I'm watching with Emily now, but for dinner, I'm just sauteing some poblano and some onion and some refried beans, and this is what's gonna be filling the flautas. Good, tasty, and quick. And down the veg. And the beans are almost done. We're at the assembly stage, my people. Delicious. We love a flauta in this household. Dinner and a show. Matilda and I have moved to watch Buffy in the bedroom. She brought a toy, but she quickly retreated under the blankets. Is she underneath both blankets? Hold on. Pause. Yeah. Pause. She very burrowed. Hi, my name is Reagan and I'm addicted to oven s'mores. I strive for perfection in all things.
That's great. Any volunteers?
Yeah. Alright, I have hit my Buffy quota for tonight, which by the way, if you didn't know, I'm watching Buffy for the first time. I'm watching it with Emily, and it is so good. It's really cheesy. I had a lot of comments when I first mentioned that I was watching Buffy on Instagram, and a lot of people were like, oh, just get through the first season, it gets so much better after that, like first season's so cheesy. Here's the thing, the first season is so cheesy, but I'm kind of like in love with it because of it. Super glad to hear like it continues to get better, but I don't mind the cheesiness. I think it like fits the show. I also love the fashion. It's also just like so 90s. It's very much a time capsule. But yeah, I'm definitely really liking it. I've seen 6 episodes now. I'm watching it really, really slowly because it's like a buddy watch, but it's really entertaining and it's so perfect for this sort of fall Halloween season. And it's also fun because it's one of my brother's favorite shows actually. He was so into it growing up and I just never watched it because it was my brother's favorite show kind of thing. So yeah, I've been talking to him about it too, so it's been a grand old time. But anyway, I'm now going to get back to reading from Blood and Ash, and I'm going to work to finish this last little chunk tonight. I do have a bit of a headache, which is sad, but I think it's like screen caused headaches. Does anyone get those? Like, you know when you just realize you're on your phone all day or like on a computer like working and then also looking at your phone a lot and then you have a headache? So I need to reduce that screen time, but one way to do that is by reading. So anyway, I'm gonna sit down and finish this. I'm really excited. I feel like the last 200 pages of this book I feel like are gonna be full of twists and turns because honestly, while definitely things have happened in this first like 3 quarters, it's been very much like kind of like also a setup because I know there's more books in the series, so I'm just kind of curious to see what the falling action is and also the setup for the next book in this series. I'm very intrigued, but anyway, I'm gonna read now. Actually, one thing I will say about Hawk, which I think is kind of hilarious and maybe a bit of a criticism, mostly at his job skill set, is that for a guard who's supposed to be, you know, committed to, in fact, guarding, I feel like he often throws caution to the wind in some surprising scenarios in which I think he should be guarding. like I just feel like for a person who's like guarding a really, you know, person of interest, he's really comfortable with just sometimes just completely not doing his job. Which respect, I mean, you know, they're very connected, but I'm just saying, like, if I was doing a performance review, I feel like this would come up. All right, I'm officially in the home stretch. All in all, I would say I definitely enjoyed this book. Jennifer Armentrout, I feel like accomplished everything that she sought out to accomplish with this book. It's entertaining, it's dramatic, it's ridiculous. I still feel like I love Poppy, and I've made that known from the beginning. I don't know if I'm totally sold on Hawk. he's a little too, and it might be more just like he's the guard trope, which is a little more like aggressively alpha than usually like my romance trope preference tends to be. So it's really nothing against the writing. It's more like Hawk isn't my favorite male protagonist romance, like main character. But I would say I feel like this book scaled really well. I was very entertained. Yes, is it cheesy? Yes, are there maybe some minor plot holes or some minor like things are a little convenient? Is there a few cheesy death scenes? Sure. But was I flipping through the pages? I mean, I've read almost 600 and something pages in like 2.5 days, which is way more than I've read recently. So I have honestly very little complaints. This was everything I wanted it to be. I'm excited to just read the last pages, and I'm definitely going to be reading the second book soon. I mean, it's absurd. I mean, even the premise is absurd. I mean, our main character is a maiden. A maiden. But anyway, I'm excited to see how this continues. I mean, honestly, if you love Sarah J Maas, like Court of Thorns and Roses, like you're gonna love this. Really enjoyed this book the entire time. But anyway, I'm gonna finish it now and then go to bed. Hi friends. So what's hilarious about the last update I just filmed before this is that where I was at was about 80 pages away from the end of the book, which if you've read the book, so much happens in that last 80 pages. Like so much happens. Like the entire book is absolutely flipped on its head. So it's so funny because I was like talking about like, oh, these are my general thoughts and feelings about the series, and all of those stand true. But it's just really funny with the context of the last bit of the book I've read, which it was just an absolute wild ride. Like those 80 pages really put us through the paces. I mean, those 80 pages blew the rest of the book out of the water. And in fact, it's almost funny because I was even thinking before those 80 pages, I was like, like from 4 to 500, I was like, the book is like good. It's not as strong as the beginning. Like it's starting to drag a little bit, like starting to slow down. Like I really want this to pick up. I'm finding the characters to be a little one note. And then the end happens and you're like, what in the world is going, like how is this going to continue into the second book? Character tropes are just no more, basically. That being said, I will say a lot of my instincts were right, so hats off to me. And this has got to be one of the messiest romances I have encountered in a while. I honestly like don't even know what to say about it, but I would say like my feelings too about Hawk have been persistently lukewarm, so I don't really know how things are going to like persist in the future for me, but like it was very entertaining, I'll tell you that. And everything was like very much mutual between them. It was like, I don't know, how everything escalated was very mutual, and it's kind of fascinating, and I am really curious to know how that is going to be explored within the next book. That being said, some things I will say is I don't know if this can be romanticized. Like as long as Jennifer L. Armentrout continues to be transparent with the fact that like this is a messy, complicated, and very bizarrely motivated romance on both ends. In the second book, like I think I could read it, but if it begins to be more romanticized, then I'm not sure. So I think I'm gonna hold on reading the second book. I really did enjoy this. I'm just rambling, clearly. I have a lot of thoughts. One thing I will definitely say, I do feel like Jennifer L. Armentrout subverted a lot of romance tropes that I was kind of expecting, even as I was reading the novel, especially towards the end, which is why I feel like I'm so perplexed about how the story is going to continue, and kind of why I have this sort of feeling of concern. Like as long as it's not romanticized and like the mutual understanding between both characters persists, but it is so messy, and it's because of this like subversion. All in all, I would give this 4 out of 5 stars. It was basically everything that I would expected, with a more like fiery ending than I was anticipating, which kind of bumped it up to that 4 stars. The middle did drag a little bit. Obviously it's very cheesy. Obviously this book is ridiculous. Going into this novel, understand that this is definitely romance with a very interesting plot line at its center that's definitely driving motivations, which makes things interesting. But this is definitely just like a steamy new adult fantasy book that's mostly concerned about like the main primary characters and how they're kind of rotating around each other. So like plot points are going to be kind of wrapped up conveniently, but I'm definitely intrigued based off the last 150 pages. And all that being said, I definitely flew through this book in 3 days. It was very entertaining. It's exactly what I needed to kind of spark my reading again. I definitely feel no longer slumpy or distracted, like I'm ready to pick up another book. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for like a new adult romance-centered fantasy story. It will definitely entertain you. Like if you love Sarah J Maas, you're probably gonna really enjoy this. But yeah, I read over 600 pages in 3 days. I'm pretty pleased about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.